In 2006, a woman sold her second investment property and put the cash away. Her friends thought she was being paranoid. By 2009, she was the only person in her neighborhood who hadn't lost something. She didn't have a crystal ball, she had a checklist. 7 moves executed quietly before the headlines told anyone to worry. The families who came through 2008 intact, they weren't lucky, they were early. And right now, every one of those moves is still available to you today.
The signs are everywhere right now, and most people are still not moving. 1.17 million layoff announcements in 2025, the most since 2020. Banks failing, credit card debt at a record $1.28 trillion, and a stock market sitting at valuations not seen since the dot-com bubble. This is not a prediction. This is a checklist, and the clock is running. I want to show you 7 things you can do right now before the countdown ends using the exact playbook of the people who came out of 2008 intact. Because 2 kinds of people went into that crash: the ones who prepared and the ones who lost everything. The difference between them was not income. It was not luck. It was about 6 months of decisions made before the bottom fell out. Here is what those 6 months look like right now. In 2007, Tom worked in construction management in Phoenix, Arizona. Good salary, a mortgage, 2 kids in school, a $400,000 home he'd bought at the peak. He had no emergency fund. He had a home equity line of credit he'd used for a truck and a kitchen remodel, and he had a credit card balance he figured he'd pay off when things calmed down. By 2009, Tom had lost his job, his house, and his truck. He moved his family into his in-laws' spare room. He was 41 years old and starting over. 3 blocks away lived a man named David. Same neighborhood, similar salary. He had done one thing differently. In 2006, a full year before the crash, David got nervous. He started watching the indicators. He made a list, and he started working through it quietly. David came out of 2008 with his house, his job, and his family savings intact. Not because he saw the future, because he respected the risk. Here is the list David made, and here is why every item on it matters more right now than it did in 2006. Step 1, build a real emergency fund. Not 1 month, not 2, 6 months of actual living expenses in a liquid account you do not touch. The average American today has less than $1,000 in savings. A 6-month fund is the single biggest difference between a setback and a catastrophe. When recessions hit, job losses spike. The average unemployment period in 2009 was 6 months. That is not a coincidence. That is the number you are building toward. Step 2, kill the high-interest debt first. Credit cards at 21% are not a bill. They are a trap that gets tighter every month you stay in it. In a downturn, that trap becomes a cage. David paid off every credit card before 2008. Tom was paying minimum payments on 3 of them when he lost his job. Step 3, stress test your job. Not your skills, your employer. Ask yourself honestly, if revenues dropped 30% tomorrow, would my position survive? Which companies in my industry are carrying the most debt? Am I in a discretionary sector that gets cut first? It is far easier to move to a stronger employer before a recession than to find any employer after one. Hiring freezes happen fast. The window to move closes fast.
Hey, real quick, let's take a quick break. If anything on this checklist has a gap next to your name, you haven't done it yet. The Real Estate Crash Bundle is the fastest way to close it. It walks you through the full real estate cycle, where we are in it right now, and what to do at each stage before the pressure arrives. Check the link down below for the Real Estate Crash Bundle, and now let's get right back to the video.
Step 4. Audit your 401k for hidden risk. Most Americans have their entire retirement in a target date fund they set up 15 years ago and never looked at again. Those funds can carry significant bond exposure, international exposure, and sector concentrations that get hammered in a downturn. Know what you own before someone else reprices it for you. Step 5, cut one spending category before you have to cut everything. This sounds small, it is not. The people who voluntarily tightened their budget in 2007 had margin when the real cuts came. The ones who waited had nothing left to cut that didn't hurt. Pick the category you spend the most on that you'd survive without. Subscriptions, dining, memberships. Cut it now and redirect it to the emergency fund. Step 6, build one additional income stream before your primary one is threatened. In 2008, the people who came out fastest had something else coming in. A rental room, freelance work, a skill they could monetize quickly. It does not need to be big. In a recession, $300 extra a month is the difference between making rent and not making rent. Step 7, know what you own and what owns you. Write down every asset and every liability, every account, every debt, every payment. Most people cannot do this without being surprised by something. David did this exercise in 2006. He found a car loan he had forgotten was still running, 2 insurance policies he was double paying, and a credit card with a rate that had quietly climbed to 24%. He fixed all 3 before the crash. Each one gave him more margin when he needed it. Now, here is the current read on why these 7 steps matter more today than they did in 2006. Auto loan delinquency is at a 15-year high. Credit card defaults at a 14-year high. 1.7 million car repossessions last year. The consumer is already cracking. This is not hypothetical. The data is already in the rearview mirror. The Shiller PE ratio, the most reliable long-term valuation measure for stocks, sits above 40 right now. Every single time it has crossed 30, a crash of 20% or more followed. And for the first time in American history, all 3 major credit agencies have stripped the United States of its AAA rating. That affects your borrowing costs directly. The people who are going to come out of what is coming intact are already doing these 7 things. Not after the headlines get bad, now, while there is still time to move. This is not about fear. David was not afraid. He was just paying attention to things most people weren't looking at yet. Paying attention early is the only financial advantage that doesn't require money to use. So here is the list one more time. Emergency fund, 6 months. Kill high interest debt. Stress test your job. Audit your retirement accounts. Cut one spending category now. Build one income stream. Know every asset and liability you have. 7 things. None of them require a financial advisor to start. None of them require perfect timing. Tom didn't do them. David did. They lived 3 blocks apart and came out of the same crash in completely different worlds. If this hits you somewhere real, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment below. This is not financial advice, but I hope it helps someone move before they have to. Because the question is never whether a crash is coming. Crashes always come. The question is, which of these 7 things have you already done?